Alright, so today we're going to do, continue from the last video, which is, we're going to be going from Blockbench to Blender to Modular Warfare. Right, this is the step where we go from Blender to Modular Warfare in game. So what you need to do is you need to export GLTF, navigate to your directory, or you can just put it straight on the desktop, it doesn't matter. All that matters is it goes in the correct pack. So, assets, show you what I did there. So you go to your instance, you go to the Modular Warfare tab, you need to create a pack. To create a pack, what I recommend doing is go to your directory, take the prototype pack or the animated pack, doesn't matter. I'd say probably animated. Just extract it, remove all the bits like that aren't yours unless you want to keep them for some reason. It's your call. Just delete all these. Then then it'll count as a pack. Then you just need to go in, assets, Modular Warfare, GLTF, guns, and then there's all your weapons. So you need to put it in the guns folder. So we're gonna do that now. GTF, guns. I call this is a Bren, obviously, so it's gonna be called that in game. So your format, you can do it with GLB, but just to be safe, I always do GLTF embedded. I click on this little format area right here. Now we need to go to our instance, go to our Modular Warfare pack, and we need to get a config file. Now to get a config file, you can create it right from scratch, which I honestly don't recommend doing. Don't recommend that. What I recommend is grab one of these from the animated or the prototype pack and just changing the assets, everything in there that you need. You know, like for example, I would change this to na dot, whatever, Bren in this case, display name, all that, but we'll get to that. Since I already have a lot of guns in my pack, I'm just going to use one of the ones already in here. Use the UNMR4 here. So we're going to rename it to na.bren, whatever your internal name is. Make sure you do that in here too. Then we're going to call this this is what's going to appear in game. So this is called the KMR53. This gun in game. Gun damage, very self-explanatory. If you're doing an animated weapon, make sure you have animation type enhanced selected right here. If you're not, then don't worry about it. Rest per minute, self-explanatory, empty magazines, recoil. If you want to mess with recoil, like actual recoil. If you want there to be a modifier in sneaking, move speed when you're holding it, and turn fire modes. It's fairly self-explanatory. The weapon sounds get a little iffy because you gotta know how to mess with sounds.json files. We'll probably do that. You can also mess with the eject offset and everything. This is where you put your attachments. You see it's in quotation marks, prototype, hollow site, comma, go down, then you can add another one. Then if you add another one after that, you do a comma. So down here is the important part. You got your model skins. Now, you just need your default. I'm just doing default in this case. So we're gonna do na, and then we need to do the name of the file. In this case, na.bren. Bren. And make sure this is the same down here. So there you go. Then we're going to close, go to render file, and we're gonna copy that. So it needs to be name of your gun. Then you need to remember to put dot render at the end of it, or else it won't work. So up here, you need to change this to your file name, which in this case it is Bren, I believe. Let me make sure. Yes, it is. And I need to get the texture real quick. Give me a moment. Na.bren. There you go. Here's your texture file. Now we need to go put it in assets, Modular Warfare, texture, skins, guns. Let's put that in there. Then everything should be good to go. Now we just need to load the game. I got this part out because this takes a moment. Okay, so now that we're in game, what we're going to do is, let's see, this extra pack's unfinished. I'm working on it. So you need to go to your pack, which you should see one of these tabs down here, and you need to find the gun that you created. Bring that in. Now, when you first bring it in, it's going to be all messed up like this. That's to be expected. So what you need to do is you need to go in here, and you need to set your default position. So this is going to be 10. So default 10 and 10. Should fix the position. There you go. It's better already. Now, I'm going to scroll down to translate hip. And we're going to go, you're going to start messing with numbers till we get it where we need it to be. There you go. Start putting numbers in. Do you think it'll work? You can also scale this down a bit too if you want. In Blender, if you want to make it a little bit easier so the numbers aren't as big. That's about right. So, if you try shooting your gun now, I'll show you what happens. If you don't have the shoot. See? Like, the timing's all messed up. So, that isn't going to be a particularly helpful gun, is it? So, what we do is we go into Blender, and you see down here where there's this timesheet. You need to go to the starting frame of your animation, so we're going to do inspect in this case. Starting frame is 12. End time is 120. Now we're going to press F9. Then we should be able to have an inspect animation working. Yes, we do. Alright, that's working great. Now we're going to go do our next animation, which in this case it's fire. Let's see. Fire is 127. And 133. So working good. So now we need to do reload to start frame. So I'd recommend putting pre-reload, reload first, and post-reload. You don't need to do pre-reload and post-reload. You don't necessarily need to, but I've had more luck with it with having both. It's mainly for like if you got like a shotgun or a bolt action or something. So we're gonna do pre-reload. We're gonna do 141. It's the part where he's got the mag. And 152. And reload first is 152. Then to 210. Then 210. To 220. I'm gonna press F9. And reload. And that works. Works great. Now we're going to do unload. You don't necessarily need to do the pre and post unloading, but I still recommend you do it. Just because it'll avoid issues in the future. We're going to do pre-unload is 224. Grab the mag, 234, 234. 271 and 271, 283. Now we're going to test that. That works. You can see the load animation timing isn't set up. This is what happens when you don't have your timing set up. So I'm going to do load now. Let's see. Well, I don't have preload here, so actually I do. 287. 301. 301. You get the idea. It's essentially just making sure the frames are lined up right. And make sure everything's, looking good. And 3. Oh. all the animations should be done. Oh yeah, draw. Since I have mine at the end of the timeline, I gotta do it on there. The reason I do it at the end of the timeline, it just makes it a bit easier for me. It's just how I do it. You don't necessarily have to do that. So now, draw show working, reload's working, and inspect's working, unload's working, load's working. Alright, there you go. Now I need to fix the aiming position, so now we just need to do translate aim position. And what I recommend for this is hold, aim and then press F9. And see, it'll move where you need it to be, where it is. So 1.8 now. That looks about right. Now I need to go up. Keep in mind your numbers will be different depending on how large your model is. Oh, looks good. So there you go. There is a gun from Blockbench to Blender to Modular Warfare. Hopefully this was informative. I'll probably do another video showing you some of the attachments, how to add sound effects, things like that. One last thing before we continue, we need to make an icon for this thing. Way I recommend doing that is go to your model and whatever thing you got. In this case, Blockbench. I'm gonna go for a side profile. Control P. Save. Yes. Then go to. I have a app called Pixlr. You can do this probably other ways, but this is how I do it. Website, it's free. So I'm going to do page size 128 by 128. Then I'm going to take the style, scale it down, rotate, scale down a bit more. You can do icons however you want. This is just the easiest way I found to do it because I'm not very good with pixel art. So this will kind of have the same effect. Save na.bren. And we're going to go to our pack, textures, items, guns. Just put your icon in there. Go in game, F3T. And then we're just going to give this a second. It has to refresh textures. There you go, now I got an icon. So we're going to go through and look at all the animations. Now, you can adjust the speed of the animations. I forgot to mention this. 0.1 is like really fast. So here, I'll show you what reload looks like when you do really fast. So go up makes it bigger, going down makes it smaller. That's fairly self-explanatory, but so you'll see here. It actually worked better there. Actually, that actually worked. Here, I'll show you this better. See, it's really fast. 0.36 tends to work for me the best, just because I animate in 24 FPS. So you can adjust the timing however you want it. If you do 60 FPS, obviously you're going to have bigger numbers, decimal points. Trying to think if there's anything else. Oh yeah, your sprint position, that's fairly self-explanatory. You can animate your own sprint, or you can just do basic sprint, which is what I recommend. Third person, yeah, I should probably fix that. So third person scaling is nice, so you can do 2.0, F9, too big, 1.5, still a little too big, 1.0, and it's small. There we go. And this is the exact same process as like aim and stuff. You Change the numbers around, press F9 a few times, and then it'll fix itself out. There you go. I forgot to add a flash model, but it's okay. We don't really need a flash model where we're going. Okay, that works beautifully. Now, if you want to have a rotation in your model, you gotta, like in your view model, you can adjust it down here and rotate hip. So if you rotate your hip, you're also gonna have to rotate your aiming position too, like the opposite way. Because if you don't, this is what it looks like, and it looks a little iffy. So I'm going to go to rotate aim, do 5, and then that should be straight. Yes. Hopefully this all makes sense. I know it's a lot, but compared to some other mods out there, this is like ridiculously easy because it's all plain text. You don't gotta know coding or anything. Alright, I'll probably end up doing another part later, showing like a little more detail on like how all the pieces work, like with attachments and sprays and all that. Hopefully this wasn't too confusing. If you have any questions, my DMs are open. I don't really recommend DMing me. I recommend just pinging me in like Derelict or the Modular Warfare Discord. Something. That's really satisfying. Alright. Like I said, if you need anything, feel free to ping me. I don't mind. Hopefully this was straightforward enough they shouldn't have to, but if so, I will make another video explaining problems. Alright. See you next time.